to deter and defend against potential aggressors worldwide. I would note that some of the requirements, such as the shortfalls in munitions, have been well known to this committee for some time. And prior to the conflict with Iran, there has been bipartisan support to address these shortfalls. While these munition shortfalls have been years in the making, they are growing increasingly urgent. We should not undermine the readiness of our service members for any engagement or refuse to rebuild critical capabilities. Our men and women in uniform do not decide where they are sent or the missions to which they are assigned. Congress has a responsibility to ensure that they have the tools, the training, and the support that they need to accomplish their missions. On the topic of our service members, I would be remiss if I did not note that since January of last year, the department has removed a number of senior generals and admirals from their positions, blocked or altered promotion lists across multiple services, and intervened in several senior assignments. A recent New York Times story reported that about 40 senior officers were removed from promotion lists, and more than 24 generals and admirals were fired or sidelined, including Admiral Lisa Franchetti, the first woman to lead the Navy. The Times further reports that more than half of those fired or removed have been female or Black, and that for the first time in more than a decade, no active duty female naval officers are likely to be promoted to admiral. I
"29 years she's been a senator. 29 years. Senator Collins. Senator Susan Collins has an essential tremor, a common neurological movement disorder that causes shaking in the hands, head, and voice. Opinions. Mix of essential tremors. It sounds like that might be BS. Remember, nobody said anything about Joe Biden at all till it was like almost too late. And people, they were basically downplaying the situation, basically lying, right? Oh no, he's fine, this, that, and the third. Turns out he wasn't fine on the entire time. Most of his term, he wasn't fine. He wasn't even in a predicament to make rational decisions. And yet, we find ourselves dealing with the same thing within the Senate. People who can write legislation, not in a 100% capacity. If you ask me, something to be done about that. There should be safeguards in place. There has to be some type of mechanism to force a senator out, to force a politician out. There has to be some type of guards that it's to protect us from people's ego and pride of not wanting to step down. The more I just pay attention to humans, it's just miraculous. I'm like, oh wow, we're really a primitive being still. You know, we have all this equipment, we have all this technology. Not all of it, I think, even we were able to design ourselves and come up with ourselves. I do believe there was a lot of extraterrestrial help or motivation when it comes to the technology and the science. But even the little that we have now, and we can clearly see the increase in technology and science after World War II, right? So that's where my theory of extraterrestrial help comes from. There's a lot of documentation that extraterrestrials were involved in one side or the other with World War II. Regardless, after World War II, there was a plethora of different flying crafts. If you look at just science overall, it just exploded. All of that, and we still, at the end of the day, no matter what age you are primitive people. We still do the most irrational and insane things to each other. It's crazy. I have some comment down here that says, so you would rather Iran have a nuclear weapon to blow us all up? You're not very smart. I don't know where these people come from. I don't. The internet is a crazy place, right? All I did was a show. Thank you. Next person says, Iran does not have nuclear weapons. Thank you. Thank you. I'm here having a conversation about humanity and what's going on in the world. I don't know if this is a paid robot. I don't know if there's if someone in India right now typing away, or someone right here in America getting fat, inflammation in the body, but paid to be an agent of chaos. It's legal. If you look at the national security, the NSC, I think it's 4A. It's legal. Propaganda is legal. It's part of war in the eyes of the National Security Council. You ever read those? If you have nothing else to do one day, just go through and read those. Someone says Iran hasn't been bombing all of their neighbors. Someone says Iran isn't holding the world hostage. This war is unnecessary. That's what I wanted to get on here and say today. You know, they throw Andrew Tate in our face. I have a theory that certain people have to play their part in, let's just call it the NWO, because I heard that YouTube may not like for me to say these things out loud, but I want to get my point across without them kicking people out. So we do know that the NWO is being created right now. If you can't see that, then you're not paying attention, right? And what's happening is they have to we're in a transition from going from to the tangible to the intangible, right? We're going to the physical to the digital world. Everything has to be streamlined on a digital level. So we're talking conversion at high rates. Conversion of systems. We're talking about conversion of systems at high rates. Because we have to do it by 2030. That's the 2030 agenda, which is a real agenda. This is not like some conspiracy theory that you hear about in a barbershop. This is a real partnership between the United Nations and the World Economic Forum. Yes, Bond White. I just don't like to say it out loud because they say YouTube be tripping. So my theory is they need everyone to participate, from the Diddy's, right? Remember when Homeland Security raided Diddy's house? Do you think that was appropriate use of the Homeland Security? Do you think that was an appropriate use of Homeland Security? You don't think that they could have just partnered with the local PD and got the same result? I don't know. It was inappropriate. Clearly, it was some type of I don't know. He got the Mann Act and he didn't even commit the man. He didn't even do anything. It wasn't him that paid for the male prostitute. It was the girl. It wasn't him who engaged in sex with the male prostitute. It was the girl. And he went to jail and she left with $30 million. So this tells me, okay, you needed him in there, and he's a very famous person. You can probably stretch out a story for a certain amount of months, right? And if you can run concurrent stories at that magnitude for a certain amount of months before they die out, you can get a lot done in the world that you don't have to deal with the judgment. You don't have to deal with the protesters. You don't have to deal with the disgruntled people that don't agree with your decisions. One of those decisions Senator Collins spoke about. Where is she at? Here she goes. If we go back to the beginning of this video, I didn't expect her to, but she does bring it up. I don't know why. Senator Collins has tremors. She's been a senator for 29 years. I think it's time to cut it short. You understand?
That there are.
And this is why we need new blood, new young people in there. And I definitely don't think we need senators in a position for 30 years. Senators are a big problem. Senators are a big problem. How do you have a president who can only run 2 terms, 4 years max, but you have someone who can run a lifetime? Yeah, they have to get voted in every 6 years, but they can continue. They can be there to death. So, a generation is considered anywhere between, I've heard, 15 to 25 years, right? Well, let's just take 25 years. If a senator is 75, generations changed 3 times. more than likely 2 times while they were in office. Being that life is dynamic, more than likely that person is stuck in their own time bubble. They're not changing with the times.
Must pay bills and urgent requirements facing the department that affect the ability of our troops to be well trained and more broadly of the U.S. military to deter and defend against potential aggressors worldwide. I would note that some of the requirements, such as the shortfalls in munitions, have been well known to this committee for some time, and prior to the conflict with Iran, there has been bipartisan support to address these shortfalls. While these munition shortfalls have been years in the making, they are growing increasingly urgent. We should not
They're growing increasingly urgent right now because a war that was not approved by Congress, but the United States have been finding ways to loopholes to do what they want since the CIA helped bring crack into this country. Right, with the Iran-Contra scandal. That whole thing was, okay, we're going to go around Congress. That's what we're going to do. We're going to find it our own way. And then they became drug dealers. This is what I'm talking about. We're very primitive. We're very young species on this planet, I think. We make some of the most foolish mistakes, but here's the thing. We'll make them over and over again which is the definition of insanity. The literal definition. Because if we keep doing these things and getting the same result, but we're expecting to get a different result, this is insanity. Crack says she's too old to even talk. She's got the tremors now, bro. Like, what age? When are we gonna stand up and be like, hey, Senator Collins, over this way, please. Yeah, have a seat. Can we get somebody to give us some tea? Listen, we were thinking, you really need to relax. No, I can do it. Listen, we're not asking. It's already a new Senate. It's already a new Senate up there, right? We just didn't want you to fall down the steps while we got you out the way. You understand? There's a limo outside waiting for you. How dare you? I'm doing this for your own protection. You're shaking like a leaf. Of course they're going to tell us it's some insignificant tremors. Are tremors insignificant? Is this something that just happens to everybody? Oh, no, she got the tremors. It's okay. What? Tremors? What are you talking about? This seems like it's a sign for something way more serious. And you guys don't want to say, and this is what happened with Joe Biden, man. Next thing you know, I look up, he's shaking hands with a flag, bro.
Undermine the readiness of our service members for any engagement or refuse to rebuild critical capabilities. Our men, women in uniform do not decide where they are sent or the missions to which they are assigned. Congress has a responsibility to ensure that they have the tools, the training, and the support that they need to accomplish their missions. On the topic of our service members, I would be remiss if I did not note that since January of last year, the department has removed a number of senior generals and admirals from their positions.
That right there. So if we know, why do we allow that to happen? Right? And this is not a decision without consequence. This is not a decision without consequence.
Blocked or altered promotion lists across multiple services, and intervened in several senior assignments. A recent New York Times story reported that about 40 senior officers were removed from promotion lists, and more than 24 generals and admirals were fired or sidelined, including Admiral Lisa Franchetti.
I want to see Senator Collins without a wig. I don't know why. I do. I think this looks ridiculous. All of it. The wig, the shaking, just looks ridiculous to me. We do nothing. We just stand by and let people who are slowly losing their mental faculties run the government. It's crazy talk.
The first woman to lead the Navy. The Times further reports that more than half of those fired or removed have been female or black, and that for the first...
That's not good news. Not for the black community. Black community, you gotta shift your frame of thought. The era of I think hip hop has peaked out as far as marketing wise. Not as an art form. Art form, you could just invite a bunch of guys and gals over to your garage and get busy, right? And they'll enjoy a Friday night just out there with some White Claws. I've been into White Claws lately. Get some White Claws going. But Negroes drink heavy. So it's probably be something stupid and ridiculous like Hennessy. Huh? Something to have you totally incapacitated in 45 minutes. Something stupid. Right? Nonetheless, if you like the art form, you can do it anyway. It's art. It's art, bro. It's poetry. Right? But the marketing value, I think it's hit its peak. I do. Nobody's talking about anything that's getting big money. Drake, that album was trash. It was trash. I don't know. He's not being true to himself. He has way more ability to put words together. But he just puts together these nursery rhymes for children. The art form of lyricism has left. It's just gone. It's about the marketing and the perception of a destructive Negro, right? If I can show I don't take shit, I don't play that shit, man. Who you talking to? Get my boys on you. Stupid shit. How much money you can waste. Bad decisions as far as when it comes down to your control and your sex cravings. There's nothing to do where you're from, right? Yeah, you wouldn't understand. We from the hood. I wouldn't understand you're from the hood as if I'm not. But so that means you run around and you stick your penis in every female without protection. Then you get mad when she's pregnant, has a baby. Now she's a stupid bitch. Keep it up. Keep it up. Huh? doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. Then it's always blame it on the fucking white man. Let me tell you something. It's 2026. White man got his own problems. This nigga's finding out nobody gives a shit about him the hard way. You understand? He don't got time to get involved in your silly ass shenanigans. He doesn't have time. He just found out firsthand he was replaced for the Jews. Oy vey. Yes, niggas struggling with gas and groceries. He don't got time. Listen, Negroes, we had a good time back in the 90s, you know. I can get jiggy with it, but now it's a serious time. I don't know what you got going on. I don't give a fuck what you got going on. It's serious times right now. And you're out here dancing in Jordans. I don't know what's wrong with you people. It's crazy because he can't say too much about the Jews because he know they'll slap that motherfucking anti-Semitic label on him so fast it'll make his neck hurt. So he steers clear of that. He don't know what to do. He's like a deer in the headlights white man right now. Just looking. Get your guns, nigga. Don't be standing there looking crazy. It's coming. It's coming. Don't you worry about it. The way they're fucking up this country, it is coming. It's inevitable. Go grab a ratchet, bro. Meet you at the front lines. Fuck all that. I'm with you. And I won't be in Jordans either. I got your back. Let's take this shit back. It's falling to pieces. Now, I think the plan is, okay, break it so that we can rebuild with the digital fiat money and the digital coins and everything will be, the new system will be digital. That's what I think. Everything from learning, from payment systems, health, as you guys already know, is already exploring all of these ideas. Right? Dig this. Let me show you something. Is it here? Yep, it's right here. I want to show you something. National Library of Medicine. Hit the like button as we come in. We're starting off slow. They don't know what algorithm to put me in. That's all it is. I've been doing Negro shit. I get tired. You understand? I bounce around from topic to topic. They call me a polymath. I found out I'm a polymath. I like to talk about different shit. I think I'm good on Negro content for right now. It's only so much of nothing you could talk about for so long. Absolutely fucking nothing. Closed loop brain devices in offender rehabilitation, autonomy, human rights, and accountability. If you don't mind, I don't want to make the show boring. Let me just get my AI on this. This way we can. Good morning. How you doing?
That is a fascinating topic to dive into. Give me a moment to review the content. The paper you're looking at explores the ethical and legal implications of using closed-loop brain devices for offender rehabilitation, rather than just for medical purposes. CBDs can actively register and intervene in brain processes, which introduces complex questions about user autonomy, potential human rights violations, and how to assign accountability if the device malfunctions. Would you like to focus on one of those specific areas, like the challenges to human rights?
Listen, you're saying a lot about nothing. You're using big words. My audience doesn't like that, all right? These are simple folk. These are hardworking folk. Turn it down a notch. Listen, this is what I want to know. This whole CBD thing. Is this similar to when for example, They would use this when sentencing someone to 7 years, but it would be a simulation. The 7 years of imprisonment would only be in their mind, but the actual penalty would only take probably in real life 5 to 10 minutes. But in their mind, they would feel like they was in prison for 7 years. Is this connected to this story?
Understood. I'll keep things simple and easy to follow. That idea about serving a 7-year sentence mentally in just a few minutes isn't what these devices are about. Closed-loop brain devices are more like smart sensors that monitor your brain activity and give a little zap to stop a specific unwanted urge from happening. They don't create long virtual reality prison experiences. Does that make a bit more sense?
Yeah. Can you do me a favor and can you look up the scenario that I gave you? I think that has been suggested by the Department of Justice. Can you just look that up real quick?
Let me check that specific idea for you. Let's look into that. Let me double check that scenario for you. I've searched through the available Department of Justice records and related legal databases, and I couldn't find any evidence suggesting they've proposed or used a system to simulate a 7-year prison sentence in someone's mind over just a few minutes. It sounds a lot
Hold
like
on, hold on. You're being very you're being hard on the numbers. So it's not so much the numbers. I don't want you to look at the numbers and be strict. Like, oh, you're probably searching for a 7-year. So what I want you to search for is the fact that the Department of Justice will use simulation, mind simulation, as a penalty rather than sending someone to actual jail. So focus on that, not the actual numbers that I gave you.
Let's take the current information on that idea. You know, I understand you'd like me to focus on the idea of mind simulation, but after checking the information available, there's
All right,
no
thank you very
evidence
much.
that
You
the
did a
Department
great
of
job,
Justice
baby. You
uses
did what you could do. I'm not mad at you. Closed loop brain devices. Closed loop brain devices. They're calling them CBDs. That's crazy talk. Give me a second to look at your comments. CBD. Now, you know the dangerous part about there's already an acronym called CBD. So what happens is, this is why I love doing these shows, because I gotta hip you to some game. You understand? This is what they did with the trans. This is the same playbook. They wanted to induce or trigger the transhuman part of reality, their ideas, right? But if they did it abruptly, it could break us. It could break, meaning we would kick the idea back. We would reject it. So what they had to do is use soft tactics to get us keep saying the word trans. We've said it so much in the past 8 years, maybe 10, that word doesn't even have an effect on us anymore. So by the time they use it or utilize the word the way they intended in the very first place, which is transhumanism, it doesn't have a harsh impact on our comprehension, on our emotions, right? We're weary, we're tired now. They worn us down. That they have a lot of patience in that area. If you're saying who is they, I hate when people ask that when you know goddamn well who I'm talking about. But to answer your question, the people who make the real decisions for this planet, that's who they are that I'm talking about. And you can usually find these people at the what's it called? I used to know these things, so they used to come right off the tip of my tongue. You have the trilateral union, but that's not the one I'm looking for. I'm looking for the other one. They have all of these summits. It's gonna come to me. Don't worry about it. It'll come out of nowhere while I'm in the middle of a whole nother conversation. Now, closed loop brain devices are advanced medical technologies that record real-time neural activity, analyze patterns using built-in algorithms. What? And automatically deliver targeted electrical and chemical stimulation back to the brain when specific medical events or states are detected. Well, I'm interested. Hold on.
I'm Rob Spinner. I'm the former chair of neurosurgery. I'm really delighted to be the honorific moderator of a session I can't even pronounce.
Hold on. There we go.
But it's on brain-computer interfacing and neuromodulation for circuit disorders. Now, as an ex-chair, you get a little bit nostalgic. You also are looking for the meaning of life because things have changed. With that in mind, I am so proud of being part of this because the momentum that I feel is part of the vision that I had and shared with Claudia Lucanetti and even Bob Brown in his brief tenure. But we put together lots of paperwork for centers and things of that sort, and really delighted to see the synergy that's developed between all of the groups that are here. I think as an ex-chair, the only talent I had was being a talent scout. And I look at the program, and many of the people that are here are people that really were career and his insight take off at Mayo.
Lifespan challenges, memory, the need for biomarkers. Woo. See, there's so many conversations that go on, but they're all connected, and that's what people don't understand, right? Hold on, I'm just going to parts of this video. Brain initiative and partnerships. Let's go there. Let's see what's going on right here, right there. Devices. Ooh. Forecasting in dogs, epilepsy, clinical trial, Australia. All right, let's talk about it. We'll get back to the war in a second.
And the next step was this. So the BRAIN Initiative, NIH BRAIN Initiative had a great idea. Public-private partnerships. How do you get academic institutions working with device companies, all the regulatory pieces? This time when I went to the FDA.
Stop. You got to listen to what he's saying. Don't let the words go over your head. He said, how do you get... He started off with public-private companies. What? Then who's going to get the contracts? You understand? People that... It's not going to be you, right? By the time you wake up and say, oh, let me start a company to get into... There's going to be so many people ahead of you. You're going to get the scraps, right? And even if you wasn't, were you in the network of the people who can make the decisions on who the money is going to go to, right? You're not, right? You're listening to my show. You're not in that network. These are the same groups of people who've been taking over the earth for maybe same families for 150 years, 200 years. I have an audio book. The reason I mention this is because this book so far has not let me down. Why? Because this is Rockefeller Medicine Men, right? And if you want to hear the audio book, the link is in my video description. It says Medicine and Capitalism in America. And it outlines philanthropy as a weapon, how philanthropy was used to take over education, period, in this country. I mention that because he mentioned academia. They're all connected. School isn't really for learning. It's to teach you how to comply with the information that they want to give to you. This is why they have to control the curriculum, because they don't necessarily want you to understand the root and the foundation of the topic. What they want you to understand is what you should be doing with the knowledge that they give you. It is cherry picked, and then they want you to know what you should be doing. And if you show signs of compliance that are healthy, then you move on to the collegiate level. If you show signs in high school, then you go to college and university. If you continue to show signs as a good candidate that complies and knows exactly what they want out of this system, then you will move into the professional realm of either the health industry, the military, education, the top sectors of industry. But they've already pinpointed who is going to be a good candidate and who is not going to be a good candidate from maybe middle school. And you know why I say middle school? I say middle school because my daughter just got elected to, she just finished her first college. She went to college over the summer at the university. She stayed there for 6 weeks. They paid for everything. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. She's going to 9th grade, but they gave her advanced math, science. Right? They're trying to find out early who are the next leaders but we have to train them to comply. Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. You understand? This is the information we're going to give you. What can you do with this information? Watch what he says. Pay attention to what he says.
And the next step was this. So the BRAIN Initiative, NIH BRAIN Initiative had a great idea. Public-private partnerships. How do you get academic institutions working with device companies?
How do you get academic institutions working with device companies? Who owns these device companies? The government. People who, they call them NGOs. You understand? You got to wake up. We got a guy named Sports in the comment section. He's calling me names because he cannot comprehend what's going on. This is not the right channel for you. This is above your comprehension level. I don't need a lot of people to... What I'm talking about, most of you won't... It's not for everybody. You understand? This is what happens when you're not a slave to the algorithm. You should try it. It's invigorating. Don't be a slave to anybody. Not the algorithm, not nobody. Matter of fact, Speaking of that, let me start recording my show. So I can put these clips out myself. YouTube doesn't put this type of stuff out.
And the next step was this. So the BRAIN Initiative, NIH BRAIN Initiative had a great idea. Public-private partnerships. How do you get academic institutions working with device companies, all the regulatory pieces? This time when I went to the FDA with Tim and his partners at Medtronic, you really had the sense we're pulling in the same direction. So this device, we again did preclinical work in dogs. We actually implanted 3 pet dogs with epilepsy, which was, we learned a ton because now the dogs living at home with their owners, they're doing the charging, they're experiencing the difficulties with the time that it takes to charge, how you maintain the wireless connectivity. All that was incredibly valuable when we moved to the human studies, and ultimately we implanted 10 people with mesial temporal lobe epilepsy with this device. And I'll talk about this more. This was a really just a blast, actually, and we learned so much. We're currently working with this device, CORTEC, and with Kai Miller as the PI. We have a nice U01, and Nuri Inche has NIH funding for this. So we have this implanted in a dog. First dog was implanted in 2022. And then the most recent device that we've had the opportunity to be involved with, and this is a Mayo Clinic company that Mayo's deeply embedded with, and we've licensed technology to them, Cadence Neuroscience. We've implanted, again, large animals, a dog with epilepsy and actually a pig model, and we're on path to a pediatric and adult trial by the end of this year. So that, just to highlight the timeline again.
So, sports, I gave you some time. Obviously, there's something inside yourself that you don't like, right? There's something about you that you don't like. You're over here disrespecting people, mainly me. I've not disrespected you because I don't know you. You come off like a coward. I don't know if I have time for that this morning. Or rather, I don't have the tolerance. So what we'll do is just get you up out of here. And now you're gone. You understand? Either you come over as a distraction, because you're not talking about anything. You're just disgruntled. You probably found out you like men. And you hate the fact that you really are attracted to a man. And even though the homosexual community has come so far, there's still that stigma there, right? Maybe your father doesn't approve. I don't think your companion would definitely approve. They would probably call you nasty things that you're not going to be proud of. So you come over, you wake up, and you take it out on me during my show. Although I understand your frustration, I will not tolerate it. And thus we ban you from the show. Now, if I had a God that you were familiar with, I would pray to him that you get the help you need. Unfortunately, I don't have religion, and I don't believe in your God. All I can do is say a bunch of words that mean nothing, like Godspeed. I don't know what that means, but it seems like the appropriate thing to say at this point. Hey, Godspeed, man. Now, moving on to some people who just want to have a conversation about some things. even the things that we're not seeing. I know what the thumbnail says and the title says. I made the thumbnail and I made the title. However, everything is connected. So it's bigger than me getting on here ranting about, 600 lives. That escalated fast, right? We're in a war that we shouldn't even be in because it wasn't approved. Because if it did had to go before the Congress, we cannot even say why we would just start attacking Iran, right? So this was supposed to be about helping out Israel for some strange reason that they wanted. They felt like, we can't be trusted next to Iran. This is an excuse that they're using, obviously. It makes no sense. First of all, Israel, you're the size of New Jersey. You need to pipe down. And you didn't even try to work with your neighbors. You did not. It was all about genocide. It was all about killing, because you want to expand Israel and you want to fulfill the religious prophecy, right? Which is crazy because it's all made up, that book, right? There's plenty of jewels that you can take from the book. Plenty of jewels. Plenty of things that happen in other civilizations, history that happened in other civilizations that you can take from these books. But for the most part, they're just reiterated stories from older civilizations that, for whoever doesn't want you to know about these older civilizations, so they want to fulfill some type of prophecy. Israel was never a place to begin with. It was always a people. It was the changed name of Jacob. That some stranger gave him while wrestling all night long with him. They took a break. He said, "What's your name, bro?" I said, "Jacob." Nah. That's a bitch name. Your name is Israel. And for some reason, he went along with it. It's a crazy story. The people that's connected to this religion, right? Crazy story. That involves the true Hebrews. That involves imposters who say they are the Hebrews and the Israelites. It gets crazy. All in all, it's not good for Earth. These are fanatical people. I don't think they have other humans in mind in the best way, right? They have different names for people who are not like them. They call them the Goyim. So they've protested for a land of their own. They were given one in 1948. And immediately, 1950, they're already trying to push the borders after saying, we wouldn't do that. We're going to just abide by the rules. And in fact, within the first year, they did not abide by the rules. Here we are, some almost 70 years later, right? And almost 80. And things have gotten dramatically worse. They're not going to get better with these type of thinkers, these type of individuals. They're not going to get better. So here we are. They give our politicians money. Our politicians, the politicians of the United States, they give them money under the table. So that they can get the financial support legally. If you could just not listen to your citizens, don't pay attention to them, they're the goyim anyway. We have to get this done. It is prophetic. And our senators and congressmen and the presidents, they coerce with these people that mean us no good. How can they mean you good if they don't care about your job, the sustainability of your economy, the sustainability of your health, the sustainability of your education, the sustainability of your legacy, your children? We got Skylar Blake, who says you seem fanatical. So either you are not an American citizen, which I gather you're not, which your comment to me doesn't matter, because anyone who says the sustainability of someone who was born in the United States, whose grandfather went to World War II like mine, and fought and came back and raised 3 kids and worked and was a passer on the side, never broke the law. I come from that stock. You don't. Otherwise, you would not have even made a ridiculous comment like that. Someone says, and how much money is fraud costing us? It's all fraud. This is all fraud. It's all fraud because it's an unnecessary war. It is not for the United States. This has nothing to do with, if they have a war, if they have a nuclear bomb, we can all die. So you spend billions. These are not good decisions, right? We know they don't have a nuke. We know that. So we're saying if they ever get, we have to do this now because if they get one. So you spend $37 billion on your hypothesis that if they get a nuke, we would be in trouble. That is not the decision of a rational people. It's not. So it's all fraud. Because if that's not your real reason for doing this, which it can't be, I refuse to believe that you intelligent, so-called intelligent, professional beings truly sit there and believe that you needed to spend $37 billion and risk the lives of hundreds of thousands of people just in case they ever do get a nuke. That is the most ridiculous thing I've heard. So this means that you're borrowing the money to spread out amongst different companies of people that you know own these companies, different NGOs of people you know who are getting these contracts, and you all you guys are laughing to the bank. Wow, the more money we print out and give out, it weakens the dollar and inflates it. Thus, this is the erosion of the United States done by our own people. Fanatical? Nah. Highly doubt it. Right? But there's so many lines of mass distraction going on right now. I think back in the days, they weren't equipped to run parallel mass distraction stories at one time. Over the years, if they've learned anything, they obviously haven't learned how to reduce spending in government. They haven't learned that. But what they did learn was how to run multiple mass distraction stories at one time. So what happens is when I do a little show like this, it's getting pulverized by other stories in the mainstream media, right? Which we call this Operation Mockingbird. Look it up if you don't know what's going on. I'm okay with it because I'm one of the ones. I was sent to do exactly what I'm doing, no matter what those numbers look like. So I'm not supposed to pay attention whether there's 0 people or 100 people in that chat. I'm supposed to just give out the information and keep this conversation going of people staying on track, being aware, not getting distracted. So as we got the war going on and people and children are dying unnecessarily, these are more or less children. So maybe that's not the clip I was looking for. I had another clip. Is this the clip? Oh, here's the clip right here.
New Pentagon casualty figures have reignited questions over the true human cost of the U.S.-Iran conflict.
So as I look at the faces of these young people, these are kids, man. But they're cannon fodder. You understand? Cannon fodder. Nothing has changed on this planet in millions of years. When we listen to the stories of the Sumerians, it's the same activity going. It's the same activity going on. But some type of nuclear war did break out on this planet. If you read the Indian Vedas, something happened.
After updated military records showed
Young
a sharp
kids.
increase in the number of American service.
Now, granted, you say, well, they know what they signed up for. Yeah, they probably signed up to protect this country from danger. That's what they signed up for. But to be used as pawns so that non-government organizations can find a safe way to get money from the United States without even doing that much. You want to know why we're low on ammunitions? You want to know the real reasons why we're low on ammunitions? We're low on ammunitions because they charge too much for their services. Instead of charging something reasonable, right? I want you to make a bullet. Okay, how much is the bullet going to cost? The bullet is going to cost probably $2, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to charge you $6. $2 for the original cost of the bullet. $2 is going to go into my corporate account, and then that leaves $2 for the wages, right, of the people. That's not what these people do. Right? Then we can crank out. We can continue to make these ammunitions. Everybody eats. Right? The people who own the country, you're not poor. That's a solid business plan. That's not what happens. What happens is they mark that bullet up so much, it's ridiculous. And guess what? They're going to get the contract. And people are going to get used to living off that type of money. So the bullet may cost $2. They're going to charge $150 for each bullet. And this has become the way of the United States when it comes to government contracts. You know why? Because the dollar's not backed by anything. One of the worst decisions that we've ever made. It is true incompetence that I don't think they would ever teach that history in high school or school period in the United States. They're not going to teach how we messed up everything by taking things off of the gold standard. And they had to because they did not comply with their own business plan. The business plan was that the dollar was going to be pegged at gold at $35 an ounce. However, there is a limited amount of gold. So therefore, you cannot, it's the same idea of Bitcoin, right? You can only spend a certain amount. Once other countries seen like, wait, you're spending way more money than there is gold. They said, okay, you're not even honoring your own system. We want either our gold or we want the gold. Give us the gold. And they came here for the gold, and it was no gold. I don't know if there wasn't any gold. They just didn't give him anything. And then Nixon announced, hey, yo, we're getting off this. This was a crummy idea to begin with. And they started giving out IOUs, promissory notes. Wimpy from Popeye. I would gladly pay you tomorrow for 2 hamburgers today, sir. So you have a few families that's connected to the government, that's connected to the Federal Reserve. They come up with these wise ideas. Oh, I'm going to start a business and I can get the government to fund. And where did that lead us? It led us to where we are today. So there's no reason for us to have been out of munitions in the first place. It's only greed that got us. Oh, we haven't been making enough bullets. Lower the price of the cost to make munitions. That's all you got to do. You don't got to lower the wages for the people who are making the munitions. What are you doing?
Members listed as killed and wounded. According to a CNN report, the Pentagon has updated its Defense Casualty Analysis System, or DCAS, restoring 4 previously omitted fatalities and adding more than 140 additional wounded personnel to its official database. The updated figures show a total of 18 U.S. service members killed and 624 wounded since the United States launched military operations against Iran on February 28th. To be clear, the official figures are 18 killed and 624 wounded, not over 600 killed. The headline reflects the combined casualty toll of personnel killed and wounded. The updated database also introduces a new casualty category titled Overseas Operations.
So here's my thing. Why aren't Israelis fighting? Right? So YouTube can try to suppress this video. That's fine. I'm recording it. Why aren't Israelis fighting? They're not. This is so disrespectful on so many levels, right? because it wasn't our war to begin with, if you remember this. Israel said, yo, they're going to fire on Iran, and we feel like we can take them, right? And now's the time to take these people. All right, go ahead, right? They're like, no, you got to come. You guys got to set it off with us. Bro, we've been giving you subsidies since you were created. That is not enough for these people. They want the lives of Americans. They want the lives of the children of American parents. This is crazy. What does any American have to do with this war? Why aren't we focusing on us? You know, I watch shows like Fallout, which is crazy because you can actually see all of these things going down right now. And it's like nobody is doing anything to stop the inevitable. We know where this is headed if we don't correct our behavior. And yet none of us correct our behavior. I think they think the answer is no, we have to go to Mars, right? You got the biggest and brightest minds on the planet. This guy wants $1 trillion salary, which I think his board signed off on. What do you do with $1 trillion a year? I mean, what are we even talking about? That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. Why would you need $1 trillion a year? What the hell are you going to buy with $1 trillion? If it's not going to be for the benefit of helping people on this planet, which it won't be. So that's just superficial nonsense. However, bigger than all of that, you're feverishly trying to get to Mars. Back to Mars, should I say. Back to Mars. Feverishly.
Covering personnel killed and wounded starting July 7th. According to CNN, that date coincides with President Donald Trump's War Powers notification to Congress, in which the administration argued that renewed fighting with Iran constituted a separate phase of the conflict following the collapse of an earlier ceasefire. The revised casualty figures have intensified scrutiny over the Pentagon's reporting practices. Last week, journalists and lawmakers questioned why casualty totals on the Pentagon's database appeared to decline even as Iranian attacks continued. Those concerns prompted 12 Democratic members of the Senate Armed Services Committee to send a letter to Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, demanding an explanation for the changing figures. CNN also
Hegseth. We got rid of all of our generals. We got rid of our competent leaders. We got rid of the lawyers who knew what was legal and in the realms of probably the best interest for everyone. We got rid of all of them. And replaced them with a news reporter. Does that make sense to anybody? Yeah, all hell. This has got our country by the... Yeah. And the amazing thing is, I want everyone to pay attention. Not that there's many people in here anyway. It's only 6 people in here right now. Right? Because I'm saying something real. That's why. They're never going to want you to focus on this type of stuff. So this type of talk, no. If it's like, this is too real. It hits home too seriously. Right? Domestically, they're always going to try to put white people against black people. So they definitely need the black man to continue to act the way he's acting and been acting. Then they're just going to use that and project him on for all to see, right? He's like, yo, I ain't even doing nothing. It doesn't matter. You not doing nothing at all. They're going to put that shit up there and make it look like you're a fucking lunatic asshole savage. Because they need the groups here working against each other. They definitely need that. They definitely need that. As long as they can keep that going, then that's a good safe marker to continue the international chaos that they're carrying on, okay? Because that's how they make their money. What I do know is that there's more of us than them, and I do know that they cannot have our best interest. They don't. I don't think any of them do. The ones that do resign, and they're just... I think Thomas Massey had something going on, right? I think Marjorie, I think she cared.
Reported that it sought clarification from the Pentagon regarding the apparent interruption in casualty reporting. According to the report, the department had not responded to those questions as of Sunday afternoon. The newly created Overseas Operations...
This is what I do know. I know I would never dig my own grave. I would never fucking dig my own grave. Just fucking kill me, bro. I'm not digging my own grave. You dig my grave, bitch. And try to sweet talk me and offer me a cigarette while I'm digging my own grave. That's what's going on here. So they're dog walking us, is what we call it. They're dog walking us to our demise, slowly, right? Yeah, I guess you can arrest 15 people. I guess the question is, can you arrest 1 million fucking people that say, I don't feel like being dog walked? Can you do that? Right? I guess we're supposed to be scared of the FBI, right? That's the whole thing. Like, yo, you gotta. There's a thing of respect, and then there's a thing of fear. You can respect the authorities when they're doing their job, as you should. When they're doing their job, you should respect it. The moment you see they're not really doing their job, they're fucking popping champagne in strange fucking countries like they won like they were on the team of the Olympics, start doing silly shit, not doing their job, covering up stories. The moment you see these motherfuckers not doing their job, it's no longer about respect, right? But they never wanted your respect anyway. They wanted your fear, your compliance. So yeah, you can arrest a few people that went into the fucking Capitol and acted up. Can you arrest 1 million motherfuckers? That's the question. No, you're working on it though. You're working on it with your brain devices. That's what you're doing. You're working feverishly to you figured out the science already. Don't you? That's why I read boring shit. So I understand that you figured out how to communicate with the brain waves. What is it? Ultra low frequencies? ELF. Huh? Electromagnetic low frequencies. ELF. You figured out how to communicate with our brain waves. Now it is a matter of how you get either the devices on the people, or are you going to use the 5G towers that you're building up everywhere? Either way, you need us distracted so we're not looking at that shit, right? Because when we do figure out, hey, white man, I don't got no problem with you. Hey, black boy, I don't got no problem with you. Don't call me boy. Sorry, bro, I'm used to it. No problem. Right? You say, I don't got no problem with you. Yo, you are not my enemy. Yo, you are not my enemy. We both have a common enemy, and there's someone who we elected who are not doing their fucking job, who don't give a shit about us, to send our kids on wars, unnecessary wars, where our children die. That is our fucking enemy. That's our enemy. Now, if you go in there by yourself, they're gonna fucking kill you. Same here, brother. If you go in there by yourself, they're gonna kill you. So we have to go together. You get your community to come out. I get my community to come out and fuck these motherfuckers. You heard me? Can they arrest 1 million? Because I'm willing to die that day. I'm willing to die that day too. You know why I'm willing to die that day? Because you're not gonna dog walk me, bitch. You're not gonna dog walk me. I'm willing to die that day. We come together. Fuck them. You understand? Light the whole shit on fire. Crash out season, nigga. But you're coming with me. You understand? We're gonna take you with us. You're not gonna dog walk us down to our death. No. We march. We take everything. Fuck it. How many of y'all are there all together? Not even military. Government. What? 50,000? How the fuck can y'all continue to do a poor job at governance and stay there and feel safe? Only if we had allowed it. So you come up with all these terms that make it seem like certain conversations are not good in there. No. These conversations I'm talking right now are necessary. And let me tell you something. It's not like people aren't prepared to do exactly what the fuck I'm saying right now. The thing is, they don't know when to kick it off. They don't know. Right? People are, they've lost their minds out here. Their interest in stupidness is at an all-time high. They don't see what's going on. Fucking cat videos and stupid shit. How can so many people have a bad liver at one fucking time? How can so many people have inflammation at one time without the coercion of our own people saying, yeah, it's okay to make them a little bit sick? How is it that so many kids in different states can't read and can't do the math at one time? This is voluntary sabotage is what this is. Mike Will made it. Says, wake up, dumbass. You're asking for something your side can't handle. What side is that? Mike Will, don't go nowhere, please. Don't go nowhere, please, Mike Will. please, bro. I need you to make that comment. Oh, thank the gods, the old and the new. Now, Mike Will, please explain to us what side you're talking about. Let's slow the conversation down, Mike Will. Please don't go nowhere now. You stepped in it. You said you're asking for something your side can't handle. Please tell us what side you're talking about. You said I was rambling. Now, here's your chance not to ramble. Okay. He says my point proven, which he doesn't. See, I don't like people like you because I'm engaging in the conversation that you had. You came up here, you said all of these things, right? And that's okay because you're right. You have the right to have your own opinion. You said this guy doesn't know what he's even talking about. He's just rambling about stupid shit. So here's the thing. Either you're some Indian in fucking Mumbai that was paid to get up here and write, which is, I get it. Or you're a real person. I asked you one question. What side? Define your side. You said, wake up, dumbass. You are asking for something your side can't handle. What side? What's my side? That's what I want to know. Just answer that. Bro, I'm engaging in conversation. Answer a question. Don't ask me if are you America first. Answer my question. I gave you the I gave you the light you wanted. You came over here. No comment. All right. So you're an agent of chaos that maybe one of these groups sent over here, Israel, the CIA, the same traitors I'm talking about that don't have America's best interests. Right? You cannot intimidate me. I only have like 6 people really watching me, even though it says 8 in there, right? And YouTube is probably suppressing that number. You're not intelligent. You're just someone they use to type and distract, right? However, you prove my point. You can't be on my side. You can't be on my side. You said that side, so you're on the Israel and the treasonous departments of the United States. Good. Now, let me explain something to you. I don't see there being more than 30,000 FBI agents. I don't see there being more than 20,000. It's probably way less. 20,000 CIA operators. Right? You want these people to believe I'm rambling because I'm actually making sense to you. And if they would actually start listening to me, it could put the whole plan in danger. That's what you want these people to believe. You want them to believe I'm rambling. So here's the thing. Mike Will made it. I knew from your handle you was an agent of chaos because Mike Will made it as a black man, a hip-hop black man. And yet you get over here and you're talking about America first and all of this other silly shit. That means you're an agent of chaos. That's why I purposely asked you what side you were on, because I knew you was an agent of chaos. There's millions of us that's unhappy. How the fuck could the FBI? And here's the thing. This is my point. This is my point. And it goes back to the Tea Party and what they was willing to do. What they wasn't willing to do was die like dogs and slaves, right? So fuck it, they just took the whole thing. And people died that day, respectfully. Well, history repeats itself, right? Here we are, getting closer to 2030. Don't listen to this meathead in the fucking comment section. Mike Will made it, who is definitely not a black man, definitely not part of the hip hop culture, and yet he uses that label as if he is. He's a fucking agent of chaos. So what I am suggesting to you is nothing different than 1776. At some point, you realize that the people who are governing you are full of shit and they need to get the fuck out of the seat. So if I'm just rambling, were they just rambling in 1776? I can't be just rambling then. I can't be just rambling then. Right? Because the moment you realize, oh, you don't even have my best interests, is the moment that people need to mobilize. And what I'm explaining to everyone makes so much sense that it got him in the comment section typing a comment a minute. He's nervous pervers now. Now he's the bitch is nervous. Oh, he's starting to make sense. He can explain it. I didn't gaslight him to change the conversation. No, you agent of chaos, you didn't. You only provoked me to go deeper into my explanation. Thank you. Thank you, you jackass. They don't have enough personnel to hold everybody back. And my point is, if you're poisoning the food already, so that we can go to your doctors, so that we can use the insurance that's subsidized, so you can further inflate the fucking system, they're already killing us. They're doing it slow is my point. They're already sending your kids to a war that was not approved by Congress. They already have plans to control you at levels you have never seen. This is called the dog walk. So, you think it's rambling if you're scared. But if you're not scared, you get off this live and you say, you know what? That kid made sense. Either way. I don't know if we can make it happen. I don't know if it'll ever happen. You know what? I don't mind that conversation because that's the start of a conversation. That's the start of a conversation. Look, he's nervous in the comment section. He's nervous. Because he knows he fucked up. He thought it was going to go another way, and it didn't. I brought up 1776 when they said they was just rambling, but they weren't just rambling. They took matters into their own hands. Yeah. Once you see the tactics that they use, Operation Mockingbird, making the media feed you propaganda, once you realize that it is actually legal to use propaganda through NSC 4A, I'm giving you the resources, right? All he could do is continue the same juvenile phrases, dumbass and stupid. That's all he could do. He can't give you what I give you. He's just an agent of chaos. Pay that person no fucking mind. He fucked up this morning. He didn't know even whose channel he was coming to. That's fine. I didn't even block him. I could have blocked him. I want him there to show you how frantic and panicking he is. But for the rest of America, the people who work 40 hours a week, who send your kids to school, who's trying to figure out what is going on at the grocery store, that's trying to figure out why you're always in and out the health facilities. talking to you. It's called a dog walk. Don't call me brother now. I said, brother, who you talking? Don't call me brother now. A second ago, you was an agent of chaos. You're still here listening to me. God bless your soul. Now, there's not enough of them to even protect themselves from the enraged people who just don't want to tolerate this anymore. And if you're going to die anyway, then you should die on your feet. Right? I'm not talking about 15 people. You think there's 15 fucking people that's upset with how this government is ran? I doubt it. Look, no war is won without bloodshed. This is what they know, and this is why they send your children off to die, and they just say, hey, they do the salute, this person died for their country. If one day 2 million people took to the streets of all races that was tired of the fuckery, like I said, I wouldn't dig my own grave if you put a shovel in front of me and put me at gunpoint. You could just kill me. I could have blocked both of them. I've been up here for 20 minutes having this conversation. Both of them stayed. I didn't block them on purpose. You got to use your head, people. Why would 2 people that's not interested in my YouTube stream sit here for half an hour typing back and forth if they weren't agents of chaos? No. Usually people, you don't say, oh, that stinks, and then you stay there for half an hour and you continue to smell it. That would make you a weird individual. Usually people move off to another area where it is out the vicinity. Not these two. Not these two. What did they do? They went back and got more people to come over. Hey, come over here and smell this. It smells horrible. Oh, you're right. That does smell. That smells horrible. Hey, go get Joanne. She has to smell this too. It says 600 lives. This is crazy.
Operations category provides few details about which conflict it covers. However, the database includes by-name listings of personnel, including 3 U.S. Army soldiers killed in Jordan during an Iranian strike and another soldier who died in northern Iraq during the controlled detonation of an Iranian drone. The casualty reporting dispute is also feeding into a broader legal debate over presidential war powers. The War Powers Act of 1973 requires presidents to end military operations within 60 days, unless Congress authorizes continued action. The Trump administration argues that the earlier ceasefire effectively paused that legal clock before renewed fighting resumed. Several lawmakers from both parties.
Oh, so it's a game. It's a game they're playing. It's as bad, American citizens. This is bad. This is bad. It's a game. It just got that much more disrespectful. So the ceasefire was only a legal loophole to continue the war Well, how many times is he going to use this now that the cat's out the bag? To continue the war and reset the 60 days so that it gives them another 60 days before it has to be approved by Congress. Ugh.
Dispute that interpretation. Republican Senator Lisa Murkowski recently expressed concern that resetting the war powers timeline could allow the administration to bypass congressional authorization.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Secretary of State Marco Rubio has argued that the War Powers Act itself is unconstitutional. The casualty figures also reveal the growing human cost of a conflict that has expanded significantly since renewed hostilities began in July. According to the updated Pentagon database, Operation Epic Fury now officially records 14 service members killed and more than 400 wounded during the earlier phase of the campaign. When those figures are combined with casualties listed under the new Overseas Operations category, the overall toll reaches 18 killed and 624 wounded since February. The Pentagon has not publicly explained why the conflict is now being divided into separate casualty categories. As questions continue over transparency, casualty reporting, and congressional oversight, the latest figures underscore the escalating cost of a war, whose political and military consequences continue to grow.
Yo, thank you for the jewels, bro. Thank you for the jewels. I appreciate it. Well, I'm going to end my show by saying this. Why you still can, you understand, go ahead and get yourself some ammunition yourself and some weapons yourself. And that's just to protect you, just in case something strange happens. Stranger things are happening right now, right? But if I'm looking at this correctly, they've been working feverishly to destroy this dollar. And then I don't know. The way they're going, is not much left at that in this dollar. Nonetheless, they have to convert it over to digital money. When you put everything together, the systems that are being built that they don't want us paying attention to, this is why they got us looking at mass distraction. Several parallel lines of mass distraction at one time, right? Whether it's Diddy, whether it's Andrew Tate, right? It's just always a distraction from keeping us to see what's really going on, right? And there are all type of scientific devices technological devices being created to control the mind, that's being inducted into the healthcare industry. No one's paying attention to that. Because we have all these other entertainment conversations going on, narratives going on. That's fine. Over here, that's not. I don't chase that. Sometimes I always talk about what I want to talk about, and sometimes it goes viral for no reason at all. None. It just happens. But really, I'm just talking about what I want to talk about. And I have to keep that same energy when it doesn't go viral, when there's only like 6 people in the building. And that's fine with me, because I stay true to myself. But I always want to remind the people everything that's going on, because it's not coming, it's here already. I don't want you to think, oh, something's coming. No, you're in it already. It's here already. They lied to you about how many jobs were created and then admitted their lies. They had lied to you for 2-3 years. Then in October of 2025, the United States government said, yo, we were off a couple of numbers by 911,000 jobs. We said that were created. They weren't created. That means you lied. Why'd you lie is the bigger question. You lied because you didn't want to panic the people. So when you have a YouTube content creator like myself up here talking, I'm not good for what's coming down. If I was to gain any type of motion or popularity, they got to put me down, Jack. Just like they did all of those scientists that was involved with the extraterrestrial project. They got to put me down, and they will. If they were allowed to. But seeing that has not happened as of yet, I'm still up here running my mouth. Planting seeds, not of chaos, but of healing and sustainability for a people. This is not the first time this story is even taking place in life. See, if you would take the time to go read ancient history, Sumerian history, this is the same history that the so-called Jews stole their history from. Mesopotamian history, stolen from Babylonians, Akkadians, Assyrians, and Sumerians. Plagiarized and repackaged as the Torah. Moses' story came from King Sargon. Their own temple holds the remnants of Mesopotamian and Sumerian gods. Synagogue. Do you know who Sin was? Sin was a moon god. Did you know that? Doesn't matter. That's a rhetorical question. I'm not here to talk about that. What I'm here to talk about is the history of the people being on this planet being created to work and work and work and work. And when they got fed up, they had to confront the people or the entities in charge, which in this case were the Anunnaki sky gods. It's there, the history. Some people say, yo, that's just a myth. It's your definition of a myth, man. Why would you believe the Bible? And then when other civilizations, their history is unearthed, you call that a myth? These people were in captivity for hundreds of years and they had no way of putting back a story. Then verbally put back a story that they heard from being while in captivity. And you take this as the word of God. That's fucking crazy to me. Then you have archaeologists who unearth actual writings of what they consider what we have to take as their history. And you say, yeah, well, that's myth. It's the same fucking history. These people just put a new name on it. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Either way, these people over here said that there was a people called the Igigi who would be just like me and you, just fucking working us to the bone, bro. Till we get tired. And they made such an outrage that the gods had to comply. Now, my point to you guys is this: you can let them sit there and walk you down if you want, but like I said, you might want to get some protection for at least a house, because what we do know is there's not enough jobs, and more employers are leaning on automation of robots to do the job. Robots are not only physical; robots are also software. So more employers are leaning on robots to do the job. At one point in time, universal basic income was a thought, but I don't know. Sam Altman doesn't even seem enthused about universal basic income anymore. Now Sam Altman is talking some other shit. So that would have been, I think, a viable improvisation to use while there's so many people that are without jobs and income. But if Sam Altman is now saying, yeah, I'm not interested anymore, that's a bad fucking sign. It's a bad sign. I don't know what they have in store for people if you're not going to supplement their income and resources, knowing there's just not enough jobs, and there won't be. Every morning we wake up, there's another department figuring out how they can rely on more AI and robotics, and it has an effect. Because it's called cause and effect. There has to be a certain amount of people let go once they do implement the automation and the AI. It's just what it is. That being the case, what do? We can't keep spending money and having an enormous interest rate to pay that money back. We'll never get out of debt like that. That doesn't even make sense. So the question is, what do we do? And I don't think enough people are having that conversation in government. Now, that's my story there. I think I'm going to take a small jazz break. And then I'm going to go back to that science story that I'm still interested in. That science story. I'm going to go back to that science story. This is my jazz album. It's called Funk and Love. I got 25 tracks on here. This track is called Grand Yoruba Love. at the beginning of my show, I had asked AI to help me find the topic about a company using simulation to imprison people. Right? So they would use devices that would make the person think they're in prison for 10, 7 years, whatever it was. And in actuality, the person would really, in the physical, be sitting there for a few minutes. This is crazy. And I feel like there's a movie that has already been created about this. However, bigger than all that, the AI act like, yo, we don't know what you're talking about. Of course you don't. It's okay, though. I never expected you to tell me the truth. It doesn't matter. Turns out there's a company called Kenility. Out of curiosity, what does Kenility mean?
Based on the website you're looking at, the company name is actually Kenility. They are a technology company that helps businesses scale AI-powered software and provides custom software development. They act as experts and strategic business partners, helping to turn complex ideas into scalable solutions with real impact. Would you like to know more about their specific services or their vision for the future?
No, what does Kenility mean? What does the root word mean?
I hear you, but the name of the company is actually Kenility, not Canality. It seems to be a unique coined term created by the founders to represent their specific brand identity in the AI and software development space, rather than having a traditional dictionary meaning or a root word.
That's not what I'm looking for. Etymology is what I'm looking for. What is the... There we go. It's funny how Kenility. The word kenility is not standard English word. It's likely a type of for senility, Jesus, or keenly, or it refers to a proprietary name of a tech company, assuming you meant senility. Oh, I didn't mean senility. Huh. What is the etymology of senility? The word senility comes from the Latin word meaning of old age, meaning old man. Okay. All right. Kenility, AI experts, business partners with a passion for innovation, a culture of collaboration, and a pursuit of excellence. We help leaders to scale AI-powered software from roadmap to production. Our virtues, the habits, decisions, and mindsets that guide how we collaborate. Our culture is something that you can feel. It's alive, dynamic, and built every single day by passionate people not afraid to break the mold. Okay. We strengthen our unique identity and sense of belonging by engaging in in-person and virtual gatherings, recreation of activities, and integration and initiatives ensuring everyone feels connected and valued. I hear you. I hear you. All right.
Welcome to Cognify, a facility designed to treat criminals like patients. Instead of spending years in an actual prison cell, prisoners could finish their sentence here in just a few minutes. Cognify could someday create and implant artificial memories directly into the prisoner's brain. These complex, vivid, and lifelike memories are created in real time using AI-generated content. Depending on the seriousness of the subject's crime and their sentence, the memories could be tailored to the rehabilitation needs of each subject. The artificial memories implanted by Cognify would be seamlessly incorporated into the existing neural networks of the brain, preventing cognitive dissonance and ensuring the subject experiences the memories as if they were real. The Cognify concept offers a new approach to criminal rehabilitation, transforming how society deals with offenders by focusing on rehabilitation rather than punishment. First, the prisoner is given a choice, either spending tens of years in a prison cell or seeking fast-track rehabilitation through artificial memory implantation. If the prisoner chooses to undergo fast-track rehabilitation, the Cognify device is used. Next, the prisoner undergoes high-resolution brain scanning to create a detailed map of their neural pathways. This brain map helps guide the Cognify device to target specific brain regions responsible for memory, reasoning, and logical thinking, such as the hippocampus, prefrontal cortex, amygdala, parietal lobe, and anterior cingulate cortex. Once the target brain regions are identified, Cognify is then placed around the head of the prisoner. The intensity and the type of artificial memories is then adjusted depending on the crime. Inside the criminal's mind, time would pass differently, slower than in real life, making them experience years' worth of artificial memories in just a few minutes. Synthetic memories are customized depending on the crime committed and the unique brain structure and psychological profile of the individual. Violent offenders could experience memories that are designed to trigger empathy and remorse, seeing their crime from the perspective of their victim, feeling their pain and suffering firsthand. Some memories are designed to trigger consequences and trauma. Such memories could simulate the long-term consequences of violent actions, such as the grief of the victim's family or the physical and emotional trauma endured by the victim. Artificial memories could cover a wide range of crimes, including domestic violence, hate crimes and discrimination, embezzlement, insider trading, theft and fraud. Cognify Emotion Regulation System could modulate neurotransmitters and hormones to induce specific emotional states, such as remorse or regret, which is crucial for rehabilitation. Real-time monitoring and feedback mechanisms could track the prisoner's neural responses throughout the process, allowing the system to adapt and optimize the rehabilitation in real time with new visuals, sensation, and realistic AI-generated content. To ensure the long-term effect of the therapy session, the memories could become permanent, fully integrated into the subject's mind, as if they were part of their own personal experiences. While subjects are undergoing therapy session, valuable data are collected from all the prisoners into a central computer for scientific research, which will help understand the criminal mind and determine the best approach to tackle crimes in society. AI-driven analytics could enhance the device's functionality, optimizing future procedures based on gathered data and insights. Cognify could feature encrypted storage for sensitive prisoner information and rehabilitation data. A compact and portable design would allow Cognify to be used anywhere in the world. It would be constructed with durable materials to withstand frequent use. Its energy-efficient design would ensure long operational life, reducing the need for frequent recharges. It would have the ability to integrate seamlessly with other prison systems, like security cameras and biometric identification. Once the therapy session is concluded, family members of the subject could be provided with a comprehensive report on the new artificial memories that have been implanted, offering them a chance to adjust to the subject's new, positive personality traits. The subject is then released back into society to start a new life away from crimes. The Cognify concept could revolutionize the criminal justice system by significantly reducing the need for long-term incarceration and its associated costs. Traditional prisons require substantial budgets for construction, maintenance, staffing, and prisoner care, including food, healthcare, and rehabilitation programs. By
So much for me not knowing what I was talking about. Right? At first glance, it looked like, oh, Saldine's making this up. AI can't even find it. Yeah. AI didn't want to talk. It didn't want you to know about it. So it was just acting like it didn't know what I was talking about. We can't find that Saladin. You're wilding. Yeah. Don't worry about it. I don't need your help. Now, right? Pun intended, right? Things nightmares are made of, pun intended. But dig this. I want us to drill a little bit deeper into our reasoning and logic. If this is adopted, and I'm not even saying it's on the table right now, more than likely it's a it was created, this commercial was created, or this advertisement was created by the company who wants it to be implemented into society. So I wanted you to know that the technology, the science is there. However, we have to figure what would happen to the budget allocated towards the criminal justice system. You see? What happens to all those correctional officers? The guy who drives the van, right? When you accumulate all of these people together, that's probably millions of jobs right there in the United States that we've created on this faulty economy. It should have never been created in this direction, but greed has led us down there. When it gets this large, the only thing to do, in my opinion, is break the system. That's the only thing that can happen. So now we have, again, many people who will be out of work. We already know that China is using automated trucking automated cars. Well, they're not really cars. They're robots that you can hitch a trailer to, and it just goes. You understand? It's actually less space on the road, because all it is, it's like a slab. It looks like a big door with wheels, and it's just, you hitch on a trailer to it, a 53-footer, and that bad boy goes. It doesn't need a driver. They're already using it in China now. It just knows, it needs to know where to brake at, when to brake, slow down, right? Where it's going, and then it backs up into the dock, and that's that. I don't even know if you have time to, we have to take time to indulge in some of the things we like, right? I took off time to talk nigga nonsense just because I needed a break. But now I'm back. Just needed a small break. I can't talk nigga nonsense forever. I'm back. This is wild. So we have a couple of things going on in here. We didn't even get to the point of the intrusion of the brain. They remind you, these are the same people who tried to mandate a vaccine that did not go through the course of quality assurance, right? So when people died, there were all type of white buildup in their veins. And I just bring that up because do you think they're going to do the quality insurance they need to do on this device that infiltrates your brain? Do you think they're... No, they're not. It's a rhetorical question. They're absolutely not going to do the quality assurance. It's going to get pushed through. It's going to get pushed through. And they're going to deny all the information and the data that comes back that is negative, right? The nightmares. People getting stuck in a simulation. They don't know how to get them out. Oh, we don't know. We're working on him. He's stuck in a fucking simulation forever. Can't bring him back. Family got to pull the plug on him. Either that or he's in some fucking simulated prison where you don't know what the fuck is going on in this simulated prison. Who's to say we're not in this simulation right now? You ever think of that? If they have the ability, which clearly we see now they do, to induce memories into your mind, in your conscious, induce memories, and have you living in a simulation, who's to say that we are not one in now? This thing gets deep, huh? I'm going to continue playing some more songs off my jazz album as I continue to search the internet.
I'm Damon Buckley, Senior Recruiter with Worldwide Technology. My team and I are gearing. Hi, I'm Damon Buckley, Senior Recruiter with Worldwide Technology. My team and I are gearing up to attend college campuses and career events this fall, and we want to see you there. So, want to make a great impression when you see Worldwide at your campus? Here are a couple of my tips that I think you should follow. So 1, do your research and come prepared. Make sure you review that company's website as well as the mission statement and core values. Next, 2, dress professional and present yourself well. So again, what does that mean? Whether it's your polo, whether it's your blouse, make sure there's no stains, rips, or anything on it. 3, follow up with us after the event by connecting on LinkedIn. So, to learn more about careers and current openings at Worldwide, visit us at wwt.com/careers. You can also email us at universityrelations@wwt.com.
I think either you're going to be a slave forever or you're going to get involved. I'm going to end this live. Got things to do. Got to bring my wife to the doctor. I will check you guys out later. Thanks for being a part of this program. Tyrell, peace out, man.